My name is Mika'il DeVeaux, and I am the Executive Director of Citizens Against Recidivism, a New York City-based nonprofit organization. Our organization is overseen by a community-based board of directors, a good portion of whom are formerly incarcerated people or friends and family of people currently involved with the justice system or who have returned home from prison. I oversee the day-to-day operations of the organization as the executive director. I am also a formerly incarcerated person, but I'm also assisted by community-based people, committed interns, and formerly incarcerated people. Our organizations believe that no one organization can change the justice system alone. Thus, we work in collaboration with other community-based organizations to achieve the objectives that we seek, or those things that we establish as priorities on our agenda. We believe that those close to the problem are also closest to the solution. Thus, our collaborations also include direct engagement of people who are currently incarcerated. We are also aided by an advisory board of people, mainly men, who are currently incarcerated in the prison system in New York State, mainly because 94% of those who are incarcerated are men. We have formerly incarcerated women on our board of directors who leads in establishing our agenda related to women's issues. Members of our advisory board hold positions of leadership in New York State Prison, mainly in organizations such as lifers groups, long-termers groups, self-help groups, or groups that have a cultural component to them. Formerly incarcerated people who come home from prison continue to work with our organization. They generally facilitate panel discussions or workshops related to prison or justice issues. A significant portion of our work focuses on advocacy, advocating for equal citizenship, advocating for and demanding all the rights and attributes of citizenship through the process of civic engagement reminds all that those who have been justice involved are citizens and remain so. The language of citizenship needs more space in efforts to transform the criminal justice system and the criminal justice movement. Not enough conversation in the criminal justice movement or among people involved in the criminal justice movement includes civic engagement, includes the franchise. We think that this is at the core of achieving citizenship and power for those folks who have been disenfranchised, silenced, and marginalized. Voting is the cornerstone of a democracy. None should be denied the right to vote that live within the state. There's no law that says that a conviction of a misdemeanor or a felony bars one from being a citizen. A conviction does not mean that a person is no longer a citizen in the United States of America. Justice involvement should not be interpreted to mean loss of citizenship or any of the rights or attributes thereof. Many of the formerly incarcerated people do not know that they can vote. Those eligible for discharge do not know that they can initiate activity prior to their release that ensures that they will be able to vote when they are released. Our organizing around issues related to the franchise and civic engagement is key to making an impact on the justice system. It appears that a number of efforts around the vote are seasonal. We want our voter education, voter registration, and issues related to civic engagement to be consistent and sustained throughout the year, every year. In doing so, we will remind all people involved in the justice systems and those who are formerly incarcerated people that they are citizens. it is important to remind people that those involved in the justice system, those who have served their time and completed a sentence, are citizens. Civic engagement and voter participation is a learned activity. Thus, those in the larger movement must be engaged in teaching, modeling, and encouraging this kind of behavior. This kind of behavior brings with it an attitude of participation. This kind of behavior brings with it the notion that one is a stakeholder in the community. This kind of behavior brings with it the idea that one can and should demand that political leaders be accountable to issues that affect their lives. In this instance, we're talking about the lives of people who have been involved in the justice system, as well as the people that are in the communities where they live. This form of engagement permits us to encourage our constituency, once they receive knowledge of their rights, to vote, to get involved, to participate, to be active, to be advocates for others similarly situated. It is also an action to bring about personal and systemic change. It is an action that also will bring about the notion or the feeling of self-determination, of self-sufficiency, self-efficacy, belief that one can indeed make a change. And this is done by actually participating, getting involved. That in and of itself is the first step. We believe that advocates for change in the justice system, if they act, they must act in this way, just like family members who have not been involved in the justice system act in this way to get others involved. We too must work to influence voter participation and civic engagement. Working this way goes a long way in efforts to transform and organize the larger movement, because it organizes and encourages and moves the larger movement in a way that strengthens the collective rather than weakening the collective. Everyone is a citizen. And so we believe that this is part of our effort to empower those folk who have been marginalized, disenfranchised, and silenced. And the first step in empowerment is to work to change consciousness, or work to change the way people conceptualize their situation, work to change the political thinking of people that are, as we said, marginalized, silenced, and disenfranchised. And then following changing the way people think, then following heightening one's awareness comes organizing. People have to be organized around a common idea, a common agenda, and everyone can organize around the notion of citizenship. And then once we are have a change in awareness, a change in consciousness, once we begin to organize, then we can mobilize and act as a collective. We hope that you will support our efforts. I, again, am Mika'il DeVeaux, the Executive Director of Citizens Against Recidivism. Thank you very much.